So in today's episode, we are going to be talking about Aquaman. Now, before
Aquaman.
as you can already hear it, my guest today he's the all-time Aquaman fan.
Maybe. It might be. Look at my office.
I mean really, we're in his office right now, and it's you would not believe what I'm seeing. Zach and I met at Comic Fest. I think was it like 2012? When was that? Like
Gosh, a few years now.
Yeah, it's been a couple of years.
It's been a couple of years now.
So the way we met, we were both at the Comic Fest, and he was literally right next to me.
Yeah.
Like,
Our tables were right next to each other.
We're right next to. We started talking. We found out we have a lot in common. Our faith is one big thing we have in common, and
we're both nerds. Yeah,
and
it just happened.
We're so nerd. I mean that.
Although saying that we met at Comic Fest probably proves that we were nerds without saying that
it was
we were
written in the stars. So we were hanging out, and then Zack was like, "You're not gonna believe this. There's a guy walking around the floor with this book full of Aquaman drawing." And my reaction was like, "Aquaman, what the?" And we tracked the man down, and it was this amazing book full of every version of Aquaman drawn by. I think it was like
man, he had so many artists in that book. It was beautiful. I mean, his criteria was that he came up to me and he talked to me and he said, I really like some of your little cartoon Aquamans that you've drawn. And I said, thanks. Aquaman's my fave. I love him. Mm-hmm. And he said, I would really love to get one of your Aquamans in my book, but I'm going to have to settle for just buying one of the ones you have. And I said, okay, sure, no problem. What's your book? And he said, well, this book is a book that I take to conventions, and whenever I'm going to get the opportunity to meet anyone who's worked on Aquaman's comics professionally. Really? Intriguing. Aquaman's my favorite. Why? Can I see your book? And he said, sure, let me show you my book. Mm-hmm. And he opened it up, and it was the most beautiful book I've ever seen. All custom sketches and drawings, inkings that he gotten from all these different artists who have worked on Aquaman comics professionally. And it was just phenomenal. Each page was a different artist. It's just incredible. I couldn't believe it.
But you had George Perez, I think.
Yeah.
You had. Did you have? I think you had a Michael. Did you have Michael?
He
Turner?
even had a Nick Cardy.
Oh man!
I couldn't believe it. Amazing. This guy was amazing. I couldn't believe the things that he did.
Yeah.
That he had in his book. We saw that, and once I told you about it, I was like, we got to find this guy again so you can see this, because this is one of the most amazing things I've seen.
And so so he comes and finds me. The thing that struck me about that book was the cover had the Aquaman sign.
It was pretty
on.
Cool. It was pretty cool.
It was it was, I don't know, it was like maybe embroiled or something, but it was the Aquaman logo on it.
Yeah, it was a leather bound book, and he had when he got it made, he got it made with the symbol, the Atlantis symbol.
It had an Atlantis. I mean, kids, we're talking about you're diving into the deepest depths of the ocean. You open a treasure chest and
you find this book.
And you find this book.
It's pretty cool.
And it was amazing. So
it was pretty neat.
Aquaman is in this renaissance right now with Jeff Johns, who did his run, and
just fantastic.
Now with the rebirth. But
Ivan Reis drew him beautifully.
What did you learn about the character anyway?
So I'm trying to remember exactly how I learned about him, and I don't know if I can remember that. But I can tell you this: it was when I was a kid. Because so I've always been a fish. I love the water.
Right.
Years ago, we lived in Okinawa, Japan, which is an island in the Pacific. And it's the fact that you could just go swimming and there's a beach everywhere. I mean, it was amazing. And living there, I became a fish. I was this blonde kid who loves to swim. For some reason, I was some oddball novelty in Japan, and I think I liked Aquaman because he's blonde. He swam in the ocean, and just like I did, he would go swim around with the fish, and we would go snorkeling all the time and go find different fish and stuff and catch. I loved it. It was a dream come true, and I think it just resonated with Aquaman and him being an ocean guy, an ocean dweller. Just sat with me just right because I love being in the water.
All right.
There's nothing I love more.
Okay, here's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna tell you the things of why people hate Aquaman.
Oh my goodness!
And you're gonna have to defend him. All right. So the first thing is Aquaman's power.
Let's tell me which one specifically. Let's
all right.
talk.
Well, so just talks to fish.
Okay, I hear that one all the time.
All right.
He doesn't actually talk to fish.
Okay.
Okay, so there are certain Aquaman runs where he did have conversations with dolphins.
Right.
That's a little different because even people today, modern marine biologists believe that dolphins have this sophisticated way of speaking to each other and communicating with each other. So a run with him actually talking to the dolphins, not so bad.
Right.
Okay, that's fair. Right. For the most part, it's more of him commanding the fish.
Okay.
Giving them impulses to help him with whatever he needs.
Another one is, in comparison to the Pantheon, the Trinity of comics, he's not as strong.
Okay, so false.
Okay. Bring it on.
I'll just go false.
All right.
So let's just take Batman or Superman for example.
Okay.
Let's talk about
Man of
Superman
Steel.
for example. You got to figure Aquaman is about as impervious as Superman in a lot of ways.
That's true.
Okay, because you can shoot a bullet at Aquaman and it barely phases him. So one of the things is scientifically the way they explain that is that because in order for him to live in the depths of the ocean, his body density has to be so much thicker and so much heavier than ours that it's impossible to pierce his skin with bullets or whatever.
Okay.
So let's say he's almost as impervious as Superman, basically.
Right.
But you also have a magic trident.
That's true.
And which gives him an advantage over Superman.
Right.
Really.
So for those of you who don't know, Aquaman's trident, it is one of the most powerful relics in the DC universe. That thing, I think Poseidon had it first, like the first king of Atlantis had it.
Yeah, Poseidon was the one that made it.
Right, and only the kings of Atlantis can wield it. No one else can touch it. So if anyone else,
think Thor's hammer. Thor's the only one that can use his hammer. Right, Aquaman's kind of the only guy who can use his trident. Really.
Okay. I mean, have you seen the new?
Yeah.
Khal Drogo underwater? What do you think of that?
So, yes, Jason Momoa, yeah.
What do you think? Well, first of all, what do you think of that? What a choice on that. Like, if you could pick anyone.
I have to admit, he wasn't the first choice I had thought of, because obviously Aquaman's been my favorite forever. So when they're making all these superhero movies, I'm like, okay, what's up? When's my Aquaman movie coming out? Right. So I had to think to myself, there's got to be an Aquaman movie coming out. Who would I pick?
Look who'd you have?
I thought of Chris Pratt a long time ago, but
that would have been a good one.
I thought he might be an okay one. I'm thinking, okay, well, that's where they would go with it.
Right.
So, of course, I'm thinking of all these different people who I think, they're blonde, I guess, or as close to it, right? So, they could pull it off, right? Right, exactly. So that's kind of where my mind was going. But then I started hearing different rumors, and I thought to myself, okay, well, what if they went with, Peter David's timeline, Aquaman, his line where with the hook and everything, like epic like that. And I thought to myself, who would be good with that? Yeah. And then as soon as I heard that Jason Momoa might even be considered, I thought he's a perfect choice. He's the one that they're going to choose. Oh, yeah. He has to be Aquaman. I don't know who else is going to be as big and as intimidating as he is.
That's
to
true.
Play that style Aquaman. And when they put out the first picture, I was like, there it is. I knew it. I knew it.
I don't know why, but there was this guy I actually met the second comic books where when we went. Yeah. When we met, what's her name? You met her. You went to meet Starkiller first.
I know. Sam.
Oh yeah, Sam Witwer.
Yep. Thank you. There it is.
Played Aiden.
That could be interesting. Yeah.
He played Aiden on the American version of Being Human.
Yeah, he could be in it. Yeah, he would be an interesting choice. Yeah.
And Jason Momoa, I only knew him before even Game of Thrones was. He was Ronan.
Conan the Barbarian.
No, I knew him from Stargate Atlantis.
He was Stargate Atlantis too.
He was Ronan.
Right, exactly. And you look at Stargate Atlantis, Ronan, and then you look at Aquaman. You're kind of like, Hey, it works. It works just fine.
And when they chose him, I'm like, oh, okay, so Aquaman's no longer going to be that joke. He's going to be.
Right. They want people to know the real Aquaman. They don't want him to. They don't want people to know him as the joke anymore. They want him to know the Aquaman that I've known for years.
Yeah, I looked back at his rogues gallery, and that's when I found out what Black Manta did to him.
Black Manta, an amazing villain. I mean, as far as if we can call villains amazing, he's an incredible villain. One that is so dynamic and one that you can use in any story. I mean, he's just a good villain.
But on top of that, he did the one thing that in comics was unheard of.
You can't do that.
He killed, again, spoilers.
Spoilers.
He killed Aquaman's son.
Yeah.
So in comic books, most things are kind of off limits. You know, maybe girlfriends usually kind of the damsel in distress.
Damsel in distress.
But kids are never usually
the object of a villain's rage.
Right. It's never that. So Black Manta kills Aquaman's kid, and it was. I remember reading that part, going like, "Oh, okay, they're gonna retcon this." I'm sure. No, he killed.
They're gonna save him. They're gonna do it.
There's like some magic.
Something amazing's gonna happen. They're gonna save him.
Nope.
Kills his son. Arthur Jr.
He was gone.
They announced recently. Actually, I saw this the other day that Patrick Wilson. He's been in several things.
Patrick
you guys
Wilson?
can.
Isn't he the guy who played a Night Owl? In Watchmen?
I believe so. Yes.
Yeah.
So, anyways, you guys can look him up. Yeah. But they've cast him to play Orm.
Oh,
and
man.
so, for those of you who don't know Orm, Orm is Aquaman's brother. Aquaman's real name is Orin. They're brothers, and Orm, or half brothers, I should say. Right. Orm becomes the villain, Ocean Master. So, for those of you who don't know who Orm is, I'm really looking forward to that. Does this mean that we're kind of going for a Throne of Atlantis story? I maybe. Is that one of the most memorable storylines with Ocean Master? For recent readers? Absolutely.
I would say,
sure. Easily. I think it's going to be amazing, though. They also cast Amber Heard
as Mira. I saw that. Did you see the costume?
She looks amazing in the costume. I'm so excited. They did the costume justice. It looks amazing. It's not, overly. It's not like risque or anything like that. They just did a great costume for her, and she looks great. And she looks. It's really like Mira.
It's more armor. It's got more armor aesthetics on there, which I like.
It's so cool. Some other things we have to consider some other.
Such as?
Things in the movie. We don't know what tone they're going to go with, whether they're going to tone down the colors or not. Right. However, you have to imagine that we're in a deep, dark ocean. So, we're going to have moments of darkness, for sure. But we also have a beautifully vibrant ocean. There's fun, and there's humor, and there's joking. Look at Green Arrow. He was hilarious in the comics. in the show, that he's kind of been dark and brooding for a long time. I think they're kind of switching over to him being a little funnier. He's getting a little lighter.
Well, to be fair, the driving force of the first two seasons was that salmon ladder. Yeah. I mean, every episode of Green Arrow, it's like, why is he shirtless?
Why is he? They made a lot of money.
They did, but I was always baffled by every single
episode. A lot of girls all of a sudden liked superheroes.
It was crazy when Stephen Amell came to Comic-Con in Denver. For one weird reason, it's like the woman population just was... Of
Comic-Con just got exploded.
It just went down because no one was...
It went down.
It went down. You were like, where's everyone? Oh, they're all in line.
the women, the population of women walking around to see the rest of the convention went down.
It just went down. It's like, oh wait, they wanted to go. Stephen Amell's here.
Okay, now I see.
Well said.
Well, great, Jerry. Seriously, dude, thank you for having me on your video here, and I'm watching your process. I'm glad I got my Aquaman print.
Right.
And
so
I get to. That's right. I got it first.
So the piece in question, I did a steampunk version.
Right.
I'm not sure if I told you. I did a steampunk.
You've been working on the steampunk.
Steampunk. I got invited to a steampunk convention, my very first one. One of my friends talked to another friend, it's like a friend of a friend. I wanted to make like a Justice League version of that. So Superman.
And you've already seen a few of them.
Yeah, you've seen it.
We've already seen a few.
For those of you who've been on my Facebook, you've seen some of them. When I got to Aquaman, though, this was so hard. Because Wonder Woman, that I'll get into another day because that's a whole nother. Batman was Gotham by Gaslight.
Sure, there you go.
I get to Aquaman. First, I do research. Like you look research. Like, has anyone done a steampunk version of Aquaman? And all the ones I come up with, there was never one that resonated for me.
It was almost. You're looking at the surface again.
Right.
You're just looking at the shine on the surface of the ocean. You're not looking underneath. Okay, how can we push this? Where can we go with this?
Exactly.
That's what creators do. We push the envelope.
And so I started playing around with the idea of I remember these, I forgot what these suits are called. They're like these ancient water suits. With the, they would have this giant.
With the hoses.
And everything. So I thought of them okay, that's a great idea. I'm going to start building that.
Yeah.
And then it started playing around. Then I was watching an old episode of Johnny Quest.
Johnny Quest.
I mean, again, this is going all over the place. I'm watching
Johnny Quest and Haji, man. That was his.
This is like the old Johnny Quest. The very first episode was Johnny Quest and the Lizard Man. It was something. Don't ask me how I know that, but
hey, man, I remember watching that show with my dad on the couch eating Cheerios or whatever.
I remember watching it when Cartoon Network had these things called Super Chunks. It was like 4 hours of this one. Yeah, we're getting off. Wow, we're getting off.
Okay,
but back to the point.
Back to your picture.
So I just decided to keep a couple of things that I like. I love how Aquaman had these interesting gloves.
He really
that
does.
Had, like,
really
fins.
Cool.
I wanted to make sure his logo was prominent. And then underwater helmet. Yeah. There's a magical element to it. It's the trident.
Instead of his golden orange, you kind of went with the coppery to fit the tone. And then I love that you even did get some of that green in there down the front. It's just, it really feels like scales. You got the texture right.
Yeah.
It looks great, man. And
that's gonna do it for us. My name is Jerry, and my guest today was Zack. Zack, where can people find you if they need to?
Well, a lot of people can find me. I use the @ZS Diamanti, Diamanti. And my name is Zack Diamanti, so you guys can look me up anywhere. I've got art all over the place too. I'm like Jerry, we just throw our art up on the internet. Here you go, world, enjoy. And so we're just, anywhere.
All right, that's it for today's episode, kids. We'll see you next time.
Have a good one.
All right, bye.